Welcome to Pound for Pound ATL, arguably the best place to get facts and opinions on your Atlanta Falcons. And absolutely the best place to get your opinions in. The guys are here, the chat is ready, and the conversation starts now.
What's going on, football fans? It's your boys back live again with Pound for Pound ATL Live Scout Team Edition. Gentlemen, man, we got a full house tonight, and I love to see it. How are y'all doing tonight?
Boy, I'm feeling good, man. We got all the guys in here tonight talking about these 1-5 Dolphins that we about to face come on Sunday at 1 o'clock. And I'm looking for a win, man. What's going on, Jimbo? I'm glad to see you, man.
Doing good. Glad to see you, fellas. Everybody looking good and debonair, like I always say. Got the matching shirts on. I missed the memo. Appreciate it, JR, the hardest working man in the show business. But I tell you one thing, 2 and 3 show look better than 1 and 5, Big Mike. How you doing, Big Dog?
Well, you preaching already, Jimbo. Already. Listen, all I'll say is this: we got a winnable game this week. So, you know, as long as we don't trip over our own 2 feet, I think we might have a chance to win this week. So, you know, JR, like, I want to go into it because, you know, I really feel like we can expose these Dolphins this week. You know, quarterback controversies, a lot to talk about. You know, so I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup, but not for any of like real football reasons, if that makes any sense. Like earlier on this afternoon, you had the news come down on our end that we put that the team put Dante Fowler on IR. So that was like, there was already like rumblings that he was probably going to be out for this game, but putting Dante Fowler on IR was a blow that I didn't necessarily see coming. So the idea of trying to avoid injuries, you know, in the off season, and you know, by not playing your guys in the preseason, you can only avoid them for so long, you know. Like, you know, you got Caleb McGarry on the COVID list. Now, he hasn't been ruled out yet. So if I guess if he comes back with some negative tests or whatnot, he might still be able to play. But you know, like I said, the Dante Fowler going on IR, he may not have the sack numbers, and we were kind of joking around with him being on or off the milk carton and so on and so forth. I know he tied a lot of his money to sack numbers, but he has been a productive force, and that's not something that we need to overlook. That's going to be a big blow because that is going to open up another milk carton candidate to get a lot more playing time, and that's a Stephen Means, right? Because now your veteran pass rushers are Stephen Means and Brandon Copeland. Like, so that doesn't inspire a ton of confidence as far as trying to get to a embattled Tua Tagovailoa down there in Miami. Now, the interesting thing with them, you know, just to kind of get the headline stuff out of the way, it broke earlier on this week about the Texans in Miami possibly closing in on a deal to send Deshaun Watson to the Dolphins. And if you are a Tua, you know, that can't sit well with you. I mean, I can't see where that would be something that you then start thinking about. You know, he's already been injured this year again, you know, battling a rib injury. He just came back last week. They had been relying on Jacoby Brissett for 3 games. So, you know, Tagovailoa has gotten back into action, like I said, last week against the Jags. That, you know, the Jags got their first win. That shouldn't be overlooked. Like, I guess that's the word of the day, embattled. But the embattled Jags that looked like they were, you know, looking like they were heading for a 0-16 type season, got their first win, and that was against these Dolphins.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, Like, this is one of those, if you come away with a win, and I'll say this early on as we get into this, it may not necessarily feel like a win. Like, the win part would be getting to 500 for the first time since 2017, which is crazy to.
Ooh.
I think Toby, I think you hit me with that one last week or on Wednesday, one or the other.
Yeah.
So like the fact that we haven't been at 500 since 2017 is like head shaking, right?
Yeah.
But so what are some of y'all's like early thoughts on this game before we really like start digging into the meat of it?
Hit it, Mike Doug. I know you got some stuff you want to say.
I mean, I put it to you like this, though. I think with Dante Fowler being out, and going on IR, I think, it does put pressure on, Ogundeji. I mean, I don't really know what we're going to get out of Stephen Means, but I think it doesn't necessarily make me feel good about our pass rush, because Tua is a pretty mobile quarterback, right? So I think, unfortunately, if we give Tua time, the Dolphins could make this a competitive game, though, because, if memory serves me right, in the preseason, we played against, Tua played 2 quarters against us in the preseason, right? So I think we've seen him. He seems like if you give him time, he can't hurt you. So, I mean, our lack of pass rush, that's a problem long term. Not just win or lose with this game. Dante Fowler being out is a bit of a problem. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I guess my question for you guys do you think we make a move at the trade deadline? Is that okay, hypothetically, follow me right now. We go 3-3. We're a 500 team. We got to make a move at the trade deadline. Would we do something like that? What y'all think?
I'll let me take that one. Like, in a sense, I think that this game will be a big tell whether we're buyers or sellers, right? Because you win this game, especially if you win this game, and like some guys like a Ogundeji or JTM step up or whatever. I do feel like you scour the market, scour the trade, trade options for a potential pass rusher. I mean, this could even be a game where you start to see like a Michael Walker show some of his versatility, which would be awesome to see. Hopefully, you start seeing some stuff like that. But this, like you come out of this game and you get to 500, especially if Carolina continues to head south, and if the Saints lose or whatever, you might be starting to think that you could contend in this division. I don't know if I agree. I'm just saying that you might be able to talk yourself into that, So, for me, if you win, I think you start looking for some help.
Yeah, I agree. I just think though, having Russell Gage back, having Calvin Ridley back, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, there's just a lot to unpack about this. That's why. But I think that, we're just a patchwork team anyway, though. But, it will be interesting to see if we find pressure in different ways. So I think, we got to utilize Richie Grant more, just stuff like that. I just want to be able to see us make up with versatility by blitzing in different ways. We're unable to, get pressure just, like we were with Dante Fowler. But,
Yeah. I mean, Jimbo, I got to ask you about Dante Fowler because you was on the Dante Fowler train. Man, changed his number 56, went to 6. How do you feel about him missing based on what he's done in the first 4.5 games of the season?
Yeah, I definitely feel like he was starting to walk. He crawled, now he was starting to walk, and unfortunately, that injury bug jumped up and got him. Not the first time, he played all last year injured, and that hindered him from being Dante Fowler Jr. And you kind of seen it. He was starting to climb that hill and come along. With the Falcons only having 9 sacks this year, and then him going to the injury reserve, that don't help that, right? So, I mean, but then look at the other side of the picture. Dolphins only have 11 sacks. So between these two teams, they only got 20 sacks, which you would say we don't need to be losing a Dante Fowler Jr. at this time. But like JR mentioned, he really haven't had the sack numbers, but you were starting to see he was going to start running here soon, and eventually he was going to start getting home. And I hate to see it happen to him. I hope it's a speedy recovery for him, and we get him back within the 3 weeks or so of the new typical IR how they do it now. But I really hate to see a guy go down like that, especially as I was rooting for him before the season even started. I had high hopes for this kid, and I felt like he was going to do it, and he was starting to do it. And man, injury's part of the game, and I just hate to see it. And I hope he get back healthy so he can. If we win this game, and we might start to make a little more noise, he can get back in right in time and pick that defensive line up and hopefully carry us as far as we can. I'm not feeling that division thing either, JR.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Did we lose Jimmy? We'll see if he comes back. Let me get this pulled up here. Now, like, to, echo what he was saying there, the division. Oh, there you are. Okay, you're back, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, I got a call. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Yeah, like the defense itself needs to step up, as we have been saying. But the biggest thing right now is something we talked about before, was like, I need some like consistency out of this team. Like, I need to figure out like necessarily what this team truly is. When we brought in Arthur Smith, and something I was saying pre-show, I was hyped and excited about what it might mean for our run game, and being able to not necessarily have to rely on the throwing arm of Matt Ryan for the twilight of his career. But these last few games has shown me, and Toby even said itself, that Arthur Smith may have also like fallen in love with the accuracy and consistency of one MR2, because if it's the O-line that's the problem or what have you, but either way, the run game has yet to start to produce. So along with the defense needing to step up, this is a game where I could see the run game could potentially get going. So I was going to pull up, trying to see if I could, let's see, opponent wise, they have total, let's see, where is it at? That's total passing, total offensive yards. There it is. In the first few games, they've given up almost 800 rushing yards. So, this is a team that hopefully Mike Davis can get going, or, is this a game where we finally see Wayne Gallman get a handful of, more than just 2 or 3 touches?
I want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. When you look at that injury report for the Dolphins right now, half there, or more than half of their secondary is banged up compared to ours. On the bright side for us, we got Eric Harris back. Now, I know y'all might not be jumping up for joy because Eric Harris is back, but Jalen Hawkins has come off his illness that he had. We got our secondary pieces back. We lost Dante Fowler, but we gained our secondary pieces back for this game. But you're facing a Dolphins team right now, like you were saying, they can't stop the run. They can't obviously run the ball either. Myles Gaskin, I've had to dump him off my fantasy team. I'm just going to say it right now. I've had to dump this guy off my fantasy team because he has not been producing anything. I'm already 1-5 now. I just finally got my first win. I couldn't do it with Myles Gaskin, so I had to dump him, guys. I did. Because they can't run the ball.
His averaging 1.8 yards a game isn't necessarily doing it for you there, Toby D.
No, it wasn't doing it for me. So I had to cut him out the week 4. He had to go. So, our run defense, I'm hoping Mike Purnell can get a lot more snaps in this game, because I really think he can help this middle be able to settle that run game of other offenses down, and help us against a team that is not doing well running the football.
Like at this point, like the game plan, should be to put it on to his shoulders. Put it on to have to, win this game for you. And, you talk about, they're going to be potentially without their top 2 targets in Preston Williams and Devontae Parker. Both of those guys are questionable for this upcoming game. So I know they just got their top tight end, Adam Shaheen, back, or one of their top tight ends. The other one is Gasecki. So yeah, he is. Yeah, they got because he's their leading receiver right now. You know, it is Gasecki, and you know, they still got Jalen Waddle, who is coming along, you know, as a rookie. So it's not like they're going to be devoid of talent, but their offensive line is in about the same kind of shape that ours is in. So, you know, hopefully, like you said, this is a bad time for Fowler to go out, because this might have been a game where he could have really gotten going. That could have really, you know, lit a fire under. But you know, as Bubba Gump is saying in the chat, you know, Tua is way too raw. Blitz early and he'll fall apart. This is a game where, even though they brought it up yet again with the how much they put on the menu, so to speak, from the Philly game, hopefully some more is back on that menu by now, and you know, Dean Pease can really start to, you know, open up those pressures, whether it be you know, Richie Grant or Michael Walker or, you know, whoever. This is one of those games where not having Isaiah Oliver is, I think, going to really show, because I think he's a guy who could have really heated up the QB. But on our side, we are getting some help back with Ridley and Gage. So that should, you know, get back into some, you know, more familiar type formations, whether it's, you know, 11 personnel or you'll probably get more back into more of that with Ridley on the field. B Strong just tipped us $2, which we appreciate, B. He says, I hope that Dean Pease stays here at least 3 years. I don't think Dean Pease is like, he knew what he was coming into. Like, he may have overextended that first week, but, you know, I don't think he's going to walk away after the first year. At least I don't think so. I could be wrong. He could be like, I'm too old for this, and pull a Danny Glover and move on.
I believe he'll definitely do 2 years. I think so. Definitely 2.
But I do very much appreciate that. But so what are y'all's you know, we are getting Calvin Ridley back. So I'll be interested to see, after, you know, a couple weeks off, you know, he's heard some of the things that people have been saying, whether it's, you know, talking about he may not, you know, fit in this system or what have you. Holy Pete, Dave, you just tipped us $20, which we appreciate. He hit us with an emoji of goal. So hopefully, Dave, please put up a comment or a question or something. I would very much like to read it, but we appreciate that quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But what are y'all's expectations for Ridley coming back? Do you think it's going to, you know, you think he's finally right in a sense?
I don't know what it is, but I will say this much, and I said this on the show previous. He's definitely one of Matt Ryan's play action buddies. You look at all the first 4 games, Matt Ryan has gone to him more consistently out of the play action plays than he's gone to anybody else. And I think Kyle Pitts is next in line in that play action business. So I'm sure Matt Ryan is definitely happy to have his play action guy back. And I think if these guys can really get that play action going, as they've been doing slowly but surely up through these first 5 games, Ridley's going to play a huge part in that. But hopefully his head is back in the game and he's ready to go moving forward. Jimbo, what you got?
Man. Oh, boy. Yeah. I like that. Don't get me wrong now. I ain't saying I don't want Calvin Ridley on the field. And I ain't saying I don't want Calvin Ridley on this Atlanta Falcons team. But I show how that whole field opened up for Kyle Pitts. And they gave him room to work with. Gave him grass to work with. And I ain't saying it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, you can always use a camera really on the field. There's no question about it. But boy, that offense show opened up for old Unicorn, and I was loving it because it was grass to work with. It wasn't nobody in his way or extra defender sliding off Cam Ridley and coming down and crowding his space. And with Matt Ryan at 70% completion rate, I mean, boy, you kind of want that to continue to happen like it was doing with the Unicorn. But past that play action buddy, you gotta have him. You got to have that play action to win in the NFL. But, boy, it would show a lot of space for the Unicorn to work with, and I love seeing that. And I don't know if that was a true tale of showing Kevin Ridley not being out there. It felt like I felt that. But, I mean, I'll be happy to see him come back. But I sure want Kyle Pitts to keep rolling if that's going to be – if he knows he's the number one target.
Mike?
Well, I put it to you like this. I think Calvin Ridley coming back, you know, he needs to be the piece, and Kyle Pitts kind of needs to be the harmony a little bit, you know, because we got to find a way to make both of those guys work. Because to your point, Kyle is lethal in the play action game. He makes your team better when he's out there. Now, what I do like is we've shown the ability to win without this guy. Like, we put the game, everybody stepped up, receivers are scrappy enough to. It just shows that everybody is willing to play their role. So what I hope this week is Arthur Smith has a defined role for Calvin Ridley. And if he does have a defined role for him, you know, it's something that utilizes his talents. Because I think, like I said, if a player has a strength, we got to utilize it. For God's sake, we're using Felipe Franks at tight end, right? So if a player has any bit of ability, we got to use it, right? So why not?
I think that, like, you know, as we have talked about, you know, for the first few weeks or whatever, it's really come to light how, you know, Patterson is really your number 2 option, whether it's out of the backfield or what have you. And I hope they continue to go that route. You know, I would not mind one bit if the offense really like flowed through the 3-headed monster of you know, Pitts, Patterson, and Ridley. Hey, we can call it a PPR.
PPR. Okay.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
I just thought about that. But no, you know, I am kind of shocked at the like lack of production of Hurst. I was really expecting that to, you know, manifest more by now, and you know, maybe it will before the season's over with. But it is quite possible that, you know, because of what you had in Tennessee, you didn't have like a bona fide like superstar tight end, like what we're seeing starting to emerge with Kyle Pitts. And so, you know, you may not have, you know, enough targets to go around, so to speak, in that aspect. You know, because both Janu Smith and Anthony Fisker were targeted about the same because they did about the same kind of stuff. You know, you might be wanting to feature Pitts more as a, you know, solo tight end type deal. And we'll see how that ends up going. And also, I think a lot has to do with the line in general. You've had to have Lee Smith out there more, blocking and trying to create some lanes. So I think that has a good bit to do with it as well. So we'll continue to see how that goes. You know, maybe if you know, it's one of those deals where maybe if Pitts starts to go off, people have to then like defend him, which then may end up opening up lighter boxes for the run game. And if you got lighter boxes for the run game, maybe you don't necessarily need Lee Smith out there with extra blocking to open up holes, and then therefore you can then work in her. You see how all that stuff works in concert?
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's a situation like that. I don't know. But let's jump in back into chat a little bit more. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll up some. We haven't actually that was our opening salvo, so let's actually say hello to the folks. We got Bubba Gump in here saying, "What's up? Let's get after Pineapple Head Tua." Pineapple Head. That's interesting.
Come on.
Ulysses Ventures says,
Let it out.
what's Calvin Ridley's trade value? Not saying well, we should trade him, but just curious. I mean, his trade value is whatever you're going to get for him, right?
Right,
You know,
right.
so I mean, I don't know. I would like to say a first round pick, but I could be wrong.
I think it is.
Sites BTW says we got a lot of guys back. Should be an easy win. Should. Yeah, every time we say should, it turns out not to be. So I ain't trying to.
I'm not sure we're in a position to say
Yeah,
it should
no,
be an
right
easy
now.
win. I think to play and they come ready to play and we
Right.
see what happens.
Right now, it's a like it should be easy to get on the field. That's about as far as I'm gonna, making the
There we
trip
go.
down there and getting to the stadium should be easy.
Yeah.
We'll see what the game looks like.
Yeah, putting your pants on. Yeah.
Woo Carter's in the building. He says, "Rise up, pound for pound family." What's up, Jr., Toby, Jimmy, and Big Mike? Glad to be here on this exclusive Friday night. Let's get a win. Yes, sir, man. I'm glad all y'all are here. Jolt Gaming says, P for P, we're going for that 500 this Sunday. Yeah. Oh, how far the somewhat mighty have fallen that we are cheering for.
Cheering for 500.
He means
Time we
it.
living in.
You know what? And that's truthful. We just want to get back to 500. Just we getting there. We can't
Nope,
talk no trash, nothing.
Yep.
We just need.
Let's see. Melvin Emery says, "What's up, fellas?" And pound for pound family. Antonio Holloway says, "Excited to see AO for sure with Fowler out. Yeah, he should be getting a lot more burn. Be excited to see what he does with it. He's always at least been active while he's out there, so be interested to see how that goes." Let's see. Keep going down here. ATL Heat Squad says P for P. ENT. I'm not sure what ENT means. I guess entertainment maybe. ATL stand up. Well, I appreciate all of that. So, our good buddy Nick is in here tonight. Nick says, "Be ready, not rusty." Hopefully Ridley gets it together and want to see more of Pitts. That's it. That's another thing we ain't talked about yet. This is the first time we're seeing Arthur Smith after a bye. Like, I know Mike Smith hardly ever lost after a bye. So I'll be interested to see what what Arthur Smith looks like, with some in-season type adjustments and things in that nature. Let's see. Keep it on rocking. Blizz 818 says, ATL rise up. Fans need to show up. Yeah, I mean, I ain't going down to Miami, but yeah, I got you. I get what you're saying there. Ray Station says, P3 family, what's going on? Just getting in from work. Well, I'm glad you finished up your day. Hopefully you had a good, productive week. Let's see. Jay Strong says, we definitely going to win this game. I hope so, man. Like, right now, until I can see some consistency, like, you're not going to hear a lot of, oh, we should win this game come out of me. And that's of the team's doing. I was optimistic until probably the second game of the preseason. And I was like, I think my optimism was misplaced.
Right.
Yeah, I left it at the stadium after that last preseason game. I said, I'll be back to get you later.
That's right. Right.
So, I agree. Right now I'm just trying to, take it for what it's worth. Anonymous says the Falcons haven't been great against mobile QBs except for Jones. This could end up like the Washington football game. They are not, if they're not careful, don't let Tua get any momentum.
Why you right there, G? Let me say something right quick. I'm glad you got to that point. And I'm going to say this because I strongly believe this. Falcons have no excuse. They've seen every type of quarterback in these first 5 weeks. You've seen your mobile QB. You've seen your RPO QB. You've seen your short. You've seen your tall. You've seen your passing QB. You've seen it, everything. So you should not have any excuse deemed these other than Dante Fowler missing to be not have your guys prepared to play against whatever schemes they're going to see, because they have seen just about every scheme in these first 5 games that they're going to see. So get these guys muscle memory together. Be scaling back. I don't care what you're doing. Whatever you need to do to get these guys to be able to diagnose what they're seeing, let's get that so this defense can play consistently like they did against the Giants and now against the Jets, and we'll be all right.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. There shouldn't be anything right now that should be much of a surprise at all. With what this team has, like the coaches themselves know better now what their players are, what they're capable of, what they have on their side of the field, and the guys by now should have a better understanding of what the coaches are wanting them to do assignment wise. So, if it's like over the past few weeks, because of injuries and other things like that, you've had to lean on some more of your young guys. So maybe that has built some confidence in them that, hopefully we can come out and play, disciplined football. And
that's the thing.
Dave did give us a question, so we'll go ahead and respond to that here. It says, are the Falcons sellers at the trade deadline, and do you think the Falcons will continue to spread the ball around? I do think the spread the ball around will continue. Without a necessarily dominant force at this moment, that's kind of what you need to do. Yes, we're all loving the type of game that Pitts had in London, but right now we're not sure if that's going to continue, right? So, especially now, other teams have definitely realized it as well. If they weren't aware of it before, what he was capable of, even though they made it sound like, that people were already respecting him, there definitely are now.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. If it's going according to plan, maybe Arthur Smith got this league right where he want him. Maybe he got these teams with feeding into the Kyle Pitts thing, and they were trying to stop him early, and they were double covering whatever they were scheming for him earlier, and then he explode. Maybe offensively, because he's an offensive mind coach. Let's the head coach. Let's get that corrected. Maybe he got him right where he want him, and he gonna start striking like you said. Spreading the ball out could not be much better right now, because that's what we got to lean on. Everybody got to pitch in. Everybody got to be ready. And we don't know who might have that big game. Maybe Arthur got him right where he want him.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, between Matt Ryan and Arthur Smith, they should know what they have in one another by now. Because I think, the game, it was the first game, right? And I mean, the preseason was the preseason. But, coming off the bye, the growth that we've seen in the offense, it has to continue, because, I feel like this. We, as much as we are bad, we have a lot of good that we can work around. I always say that every week. Like I say, if Cordell Patterson come ready to play, Ridley come ready to play, and Pitts continues to get open, this team can do some things. Against anybody. They can score against anybody. The problem is we can't really stop anybody, and that with our pass rush problems is not going to go away. But I think in terms of this offense, that's really our best chance at, if we are actually to teeter around the number 7 spot, we got to be able to get some defensive stops. So, I think that's what I want to see out for the bye. With this team, I really want defense come out and make some adjustments and really rally around the ball, because, with Dean Pease, it's still got to be a chance, because he's coaching really good defenses. So, make some adjustments out the bye. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can make some plays and get Matt Ryan the ball a little bit more.
I agree there. I've been encouraged to see, we've been talking about Mike Pennell a little bit, but I've been encouraged to see what Taquan Graham has done when he's been out there. He's been very active, and I was trying to see if I could pull up, his stats, whatnot. Let's see if I can. Oh, nope, not even going to try it. If y'all think I can't pronounce names, I can't spell names either. So, hey, look, man, I'm just saying, I'm going to be honest with y'all, right?
I can't either. I'm going to be real. I can't either.
Of a third grader. Fred Buzz wants to know why y'all so negative. Well, you know what? I ain't being okay. You know, I can see how it could come across as negative. I get that. I'm not going to use the cop out of, I'm being, a realist or whatever. But what I'm looking at is what the team has shown us. Okay. I'm taking the performances they have given us and trying to, give y'all an opinion off of the performances that they have given us. Right. You had, a horrible performance all the way around against Philadelphia. You got better against Tampa in certain aspects as far as like the offense and stuff like that. You got defensively, you had your best game against the Giants. And, but then the next two games against Washington and against the Jets, the offense has looked really well. And so I see those as being positives, but I see those as being growth from a team that has a completely new staff that I was hoping wasn't going to take as long to get there. Okay. I was hoping that the savvy-esque veteran moves that they made by bringing in the Harmons and the Harrises and, guys like that was going to not produced like at an all-star level, but I was hoping that they were going to, keep it consistent until like the guys could really get into the groove that it takes 5 or 6 weeks to get into. Like I hate that y'all take it as being negative, because there are a ton of positive things to look at. The fact that A.J. Terrell right now is probably one of the top corners in the league as far as like his production, and that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I need Fabian Moreau to step up a little bit, so to speak. Maybe take some of that, or maybe they're going at Fabian and that's helping Terrell's numbers. I'm not sure. Jimmy, you'd be able to speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, they are going at Fabian. They're going at Fabian quite a bit. I mean, I'll say this much. If you want me to call a win for the Falcons, I can't do that. I'm just going to be honest. In 2010, I can close my eyes and call wins for the Falcons, and they won. They had a great season in 2010. 2012, I can call wins with my eyes closed. We knew they was going to win because they played consistent football. 2016, they played consistent football. You can't say they're playing consistent football right now, fellas and ladies, in 2021. They're just not doing it. We don't know what Falcons team we're going to get. Okay, we don't know everything about the prize in the Cracker Jack box. All right. So until we know consistently what the prize is that we're going to get, that normally we see on the back of the box, the Cracker Jack box, I can't guarantee they're going to win this game against the Miami Dolphins, injury plagued or not, because we've seen this team lose against injury plagued teams.
Yeah. So, and I hate that Fred Butts feel that we being negative. Hey, look here. We are looking for the positive over here. That's all we want to do. All we want to do is put out positive stuff. And with the sample size we don't got so far, and JR and Toby just used both of his words. I'm pretty sure Mike gonna use his word as well. It's inconsistency that we just haven't got consistency from the sample size that we've been shown to say are guaranteed wins. And we don't really like to guarantee wins or predict wins over here anyways. But the thing is, we just haven't seen enough, so we can go over that hill. So when we do these shows, we can be like, okay, fans, y'all get ready, because we finna win. We finna bust them up today. This is a for sure win. We just haven't got there yet. But once we do, you will know, Fred. I'm telling you that now, because ain't nobody get more excited to see us win, see them Falcons win than we do over here. So we ain't being negative, but we kind of is stating the obvious on what we have seen and probably what everybody else probably don't seen as well.
Mike, what you got on that aspect? I don't want to cut you off.
This team can beat the Dolphins. Like I mean, we got enough talent to be able to beat the Dolphins. I think if we make the right decisions, we'll play competitive. The problem with us as a team is you look at the wins that we have. Honestly, we should already be at 500. We really should have, finished the game against, the Washington football team. But you know, this is another team that is struggling. That we're a team that, for all intents and purposes, is struggling. If we're playing against the Packers or one of these, you know, the Chiefs, or I mean, just the teams that are expected to dominate their divisions, we don't necessarily feel confident that we have the pieces to compete. Now, that's what we got Fontenot
right
for, you know. But this is of a work in progress. Now, with all of that said aside, Fred, this game is winnable, and this is a team that could compete for a fringe playoff spot. I believe there's an extra spot open, you know, for the playoffs, and maybe we do take one of those spots. But right now, we got to take it a game at a time. And this is a game that, to your point, we have allowed teams like this to, you know, get more than they should in the past. So this is a team that we can't overlook, and we don't necessarily have enough talent to say, you know what, that team over there, they don't even need to show up because it's us. We haven't really.
Now, I mean, as far as like, and Fred was saying, we have the same record as the Chiefs, and I get it. As far as like you want to talk about standings, right? We win this game, then we're right back in the mix of a lot of things. You know, you know, we win this game, you get back to 500, and you're looking at being in company with, you know, the Bears and the Vikings, and you know, you're looking at having better records than the Washington football team and the Eagles, you know, the 49ers. Heck, the Seahawks, you know, that's just in the NFC. You know, you go over to the AFC, you know, the Patriots, who spent a boatload of money in the offseason, are sitting at 2-4 right now, you know. So, you know, this has been kind of a wonky season so far, to be completely honest. Right now, the Chiefs are 3-3 and the Chargers are 4-2, you know, just like everybody saw coming, right? You know, the Bengals, the Bengals are 4-2. Yeah, exactly. The Bengals are 4-2, and the Steelers are 3-3. You know, so yeah, I get it. Like, we ain't out of anything yet. What we're asking for is that you can't sit here and tell me, honestly, you can't sit here and honestly say to yourself that you know, I'm gonna try to pick something. Say we go 3-3, right? That the 3-3 Falcons look different than the 3-3 Chiefs. You know, it's consistency. That's what we're seeking right now. Like I said before, this is a quest for consistency. Is what this season has turned into for me.
Right.
It is
pretty much. Yep.
Okay, let's see what you got. You know, as far as the coaching staff goes, let's see what you can do. Let's see what you can produce, right? But as you know, as far as like Miami goes, yeah, this should easily be a winnable game. Like, the amount of people, like, you got Xavier Howard's questionable, Devontae Parker's questionable, Preston Williams is questionable. Who else is questionable? Hold on, Byron Jones questionable. Like, they got another cornerback questionable. Noah, I am not even going to try that last name. That's a lot of letters right there. Anyway, he's questionable. You know, so, you know, and you got Tua, who's coming back from rib injury. This is a quarterback now coming back trying to play through a rib injury. Okay?
Yep.
He even said today in an interview that it was still sore. So if we can hit him once or twice, you know, maybe you can really affect. Like, should we win this game? Yes. When you start stacking the deck, you know, you're comparing Matt Ryan to Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, weight goes towards Matt Ryan. You know, you're comparing Calvin Ridley to their receiving core. If you're, you know, without Devontae Parker and Preston Williams. Okay, our receiving core way better than theirs, right? Like, if Xavier Howard doesn't go, then our secondary and Byron Jones don't go. Our secondary is like, the scales are tipping in our favor in every aspect.
Right.
But you can't sit here and tell me that you still don't feel some kind of way about this game. Like, when I sit here and look at it,
and if you can, that's okay. If you can, cool.
I mean, yeah.
But like I said, until I start seeing some consistency, if if they come out and have another great offensive game, then I'll be like, okay, cool. Like the offense is clicking, because that'll be 3 games in a row. That like, because I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Yeah, I know we only won by a touchdown. We blew out the Jets, like flat out.
2 fumbles caused us not to.
We blew out the Jets.
Yeah, we whooped them.
So, and you put up 30 plus on a Washington football team. So, yeah, like I'm starting to worry less and less about the offense. As you've noticed, the vast majority of this conversation tonight has been focused on the defense. Because it's been like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like you on deck now. Like the defense, like it's time for y'all to step it up. Like if it's Fowler, fine. Put in Ogundeji, put in JTM, put in Michael Walker. Like you're Dean Pease. You're supposed to be, super creative pressure man.
And there you go. That's what we brought him in here for, is because of his creativity, just like Arthur Smith on the offense side of the ball, to dial up some simulated pressures and get other guys. If you can't get Dante Fowler, you got to get Deion Jones to the quarterback. You got to get Foyer. You got to get these other guys to the quarterback. And right now, we haven't seen a lot of that because he have to dial back, because he came to a defense that didn't have a lot of the variations of his defenses that he's used to, like he said Baltimore and New England had. Well, that's no excuse now. You knew this coming in. So now you got to figure out how to get these guys to get used to your variations of your defenses you had in Tennessee, Baltimore, and New England. And that's what I want to see. The offense is on the uptick. This defense, we need to see where they're at, because as you noticed, the 2 games we won, the defense played well.
Right.
Like they played well against the Jets. Like the points that the Jets got was, at the very tail end of the game. So, they played well against the Jets. They played well. Well, they didn't play well. They didn't finish out against Washington. But, they played good against the Giants. They had some stretches, but they had a couple mental lapses. Like, I believe had you had AJ Terrell in there instead of TJ Green against Washington, I think that you don't get that. you don't get that weird Terry McCullough like hope and a prayer pass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I get it, right? But at this point, you've gone through 5 games. You've had a bye week. You should have full understanding of what your team can handle, and you should be able to start building on that.
Yes.
Right.
All the tricks of the trade for the first 5 weeks the team is going to do, they are now who they are as far as the teams and opponents you're going to go against. There's no more tricks that they got to show you that you have not seen in the first 5 weeks. It's no excuse, in my opinion. I'm not a defense coordinator. No, I don't set up everything that my staff is going to do as position coaches and all of that stuff. But to me, guys, it's no excuse now. The defense has seen it all, man. Right. Get it in the gear on how you're going to play this from a technique standpoint, on what you're going to see, and play it. Let's go.
Right,
I'm sorry, I'm getting fired up over here.
I see you getting fired up, Toby, and I love it. And Dean Pease, if you're going to dial it up, let's dial it up on 3rd down now, because we're ranked 27th in the league in 3rd down defense. And if you're going to dial up on any down, we know you got to dial it up on 3rd down. Come on. I really believe like 45%, 50% of the time, they are passing, trying to get a first down on 3rd down. And if you're going to dial it up, you got to dial it up then. There's no reason to be ranked 27th in 3rd down defense. That's your money down. That's your money down. You want to conquer that down. Coming out of this bye, I hope this defense done got into that playbook and you can dial it back up and get them back into gear. Because being way down there on 3rd down and not getting out the field and putting the ball back in Matt Ryan's hand is kind of injustice to that offense right now. And that's the part that's hurting the team. And we seeing it. But that offense starting to roll. Don't look now, but them boys starting to get them boys got it together over there.
Hey, like this, and you know what? It's almost like the cherry on top for me. Well, will the real linebackers please stand up? Devo Johnson got to buy for Luakon.
Hey, don't get me started.
Listen, we got another pass rusher down, and he on IR, and well, we need pressure from somewhere. So listen, I need some. We spent 6, 7, 8 talking about how linebackers was a strength of something, and we ain't had none of that. So y'all got a little rest. And if any of you linebackers checking out this show right now, y'all please stand up because we're going to need y'all for the rest of the season. Y'all going to have to – if this defense is to have a shot, the linebackers going to have to be
no doubt. No, you 100% right there. Something that I thought was going to be a strength, coming into this season, like especially with the amount of like A-gap blitzing that Dean Pease has done in the past. That's something that I need to see more of. Dave says, I love JR and the guys, but Toby, I need to hear from you more from you, my man. I think they're enjoying you getting fired up tonight, Toby.
Okay, man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
They're enjoying it, brother.
They just had me fired up, man. Look, man, Dean P just had me fired up, man. Cause I'm tired of seeing. I watched them games. I went over them games in my head. I don't even have to watch the game anymore. I closed my eyes to see every play that the Falcons defense should have played. There was no excuse for that swing pass get out on J.D. McKenzie when you seen that same freaking swing pass that Deion Jones played well against the Philadelphia Eagles. If y'all remember that swing pass, they tried to get out. Deion blocked it and knocked it down. That's the same goddamn pass, except what's the name went all the way across the field to throw the swing pass. Okay, but you have no reason why you're losing against these fifth-tier quarterbacks, man. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the schedule, guys. I told y'all, all we seeing really is Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, and Jameis Winston. Everybody else on this schedule is boo-boo.
Yeah.
So it ain't no reason why we should be at 2 or 3 right now. I'm sorry.
Especially coming out of bye. You don't have your chance. You don't have your chance. Now, if you're not a dedicated football player and you don't want to play no football, then that could explain a lot. You can weed them out. But if I'm on this team doing the bye, I'm in that playbook 24/7. Ain't nothing finna bother me. My job. Only thing I'm worried about is my job. And that's what they should have been doing for this bye. And I know Dean Pease we might see a different defense come this Sunday because this is the game that, guess what? We need to see it. Ain't no Mike. We need to see it and to complement that offense.
Here, yeah.
As far as their offense is concerned, like you need to, like I said, you need to put it on. You need to put it on the arm of Tua, and you need to put the clamps on Gesicki and Waddle. You lock those guys down, and it's just like Jay Alexander says we have to watch out for Gesicki and Waddle on the Fins offense. You can't lose track of those guys, especially if Devontae Parker and Preston Williams are out. Then that's another like those that should be your focus. So
yep. That's right, JL. You're right.
It does bring to light, some of the comments, does bring to light that, Fred Butt says, Dean Pease promised more blitzing and we haven't seen it. No, I think it's something that's going to get dialed up, in my opinion. Like, right.
This game.
Whether it's Pease needs to, he seems like a guy, an old school coach in the way of, you need to earn my trust, so to speak. And that I'm not a huge fan of. I'm a more of, grip it and rip it. Just
right.
There was something that a coach said years ago that I enjoyed the quote. It was, I don't care if you make a mistake as long as you do it at 100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I need to see more of that kind of stuff. But like I said, I think this is on paper, this is a super winnable game.
Yes.
There really should be no reason, but I can't get over in the years past when we've had those super winnable games, like earlier this year against Washington football team. Like, you made Tyler Heineke look like a competent quarterback. I cannot stand every time we play these, backups or, weird stories type deals, and we end up making these guys look. I mean, what was it, a couple years ago with Mariota before he got benched? Boy, we made him look like the second coming, didn't we? So that's what I'm, I want to see this defense make Tua look like an inexperienced quarterback. That's what I want to see.
Right. Exactly.
If you can remember, we were Lamar Jackson coming out party. We got Lamar Jackson started. We were his. We didn't know nothing about him until he blew up against that game against us. Now that's the consistency we have had. These 5-tier quarterbacks coming in here and getting paid and looking like they about to do something, and by the time 3 weeks from now they be sitting on a bench or getting traded or ready to, somebody trying to get them out of town. That's one consistency we have had. We are traumatized from that over here, man.
Listen, and if we let another 5th-tier quarterback get an advertisement off of playing against us, Tyler Heineke got a Budweiser endorsement after beating us because, I'm the quarterbacks, their story, and they're writing articles about them, about how they made it from sleeping on somebody's couch to, doing 300 yards against the Falcons. Like, we got
no doubt. I'm tired of being on the wrong side of history. We are getting close to an hour, so I want to jump back into this chat here for a little bit. So if y'all got some comments, questions, please, get them out there.
Yeah.
Carnice Jackson says, "What's up, fellas? This Rock from What's Up Falcons. Man, what's going on, Rock?" He says, "We love it when Toby preaches. Tabernacle." What he said.
Oh yeah.
Man, what's going on, Rock? Glad you decided to jump in here with us tonight. Let's see here. Going back up to, read that one. Jolt Gaming says, "I'm getting goosebumps over here. Let's go." I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? We just trying to get, we want to see this team win. Like, we want to see, something that I said years ago and I still stand by. It's somewhat ridiculous in the NFL to expect your team to be a dynasty anymore, right? But what you can and what you should expect from your team is to be consistent and competitive. Those are the two things that I want from my team, want from this team, is to be consistent and to be competitive.
That's right.
I don't want to be, in the cellar anymore, right? And I think that we have the right brain trust in place to get us out of that cellar. I just, how long is it going to take is kind of, where I'm at there in the hopes that it doesn't take as long. Maybe we can start, this, like I said, you beat the Dolphins, and this is a big step, getting back to 500, letting this team know, like these players know that, okay, these guys do know what they're doing. These coaches are competent. Letting these coaches know that, okay, these players do understand what I'm saying. They do understand what I'm asking them to do. And once you start getting this stuff in concert, I know it's going to sound cheesy and cliche, but that loss to Philadelphia, I think, took us back to the beginning of preseason.
Yeah.
Because you take all of what you've done all offseason, and you come out and have a performance like that, that's a real, confidence crusher.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, especially with a team that didn't score going into halftime, okay, the whole preseason, okay, and carry that over to the Philadelphia game. Now, I'm going to say this on a positive note for our secondary, you're going to get some drop here. And what I mean by that, you got a Dolphins team that is 7th in the league with 10 drops in the NFL. Right. Now, you talk about a secondary salivating right now. All you got to do is do your job. They don't do well catching the football over there with the Miami Dolphins. So that is a plus for you and your secondary going into this game. On the offensive side of the ball, we throwing out a lot of personnel packages. I think, and I would like if somebody can get this stat up to see how much we've done a lot of personnel packages versus this Miami Dolphins. They ain't ready for this because we sent out so many personnel packages in these first 5 games that they got to prepare for and lead through, and played over 70 plays in at least 4 out of these 5 games. That's a lot going on for a defense, guys, to prepare for. And so I'm expecting Matt Ryan and Arthur Smith to come out here with the looks that they've already seen and knowing what to do and defeat no look. That Jets game by far was the best offensive game they had. They was basically running up and down the field at will.
Well, because like the Jets game was one of the first games that you had where you weren't facing a monster of a defensive line. And it's the same deal again with Miami. Their best defensive guy is Christian Wilkins, like as far as the line is concerned. So you're not going up against the Washington football team's defensive line or Tampa Bay's defensive line. So I expect that, like, offensively, I expected to keep going. What they've done in the last few games and continue to build on it. So, Mike, you looking all like stoic over there. You good?
I just want to win, man. I just want to see a win.
I need a win. I need to see my boy smiling over there.
Just win, man. I mean,
that's all we want. That's all we want.
It ain't even critical. Overly critical. We love this team. We're gonna continue to watch this team, but we gotta win. Like, this is a winnable game. Like, I almost ended the way I started. This is a winnable game. We need to what we need to do. Honestly, we don't even need to worry about the Dolphins. I think we need to focus on whatever game plan Arthur Smith has for us. We need to execute it, and we can't make stupid penalties. We got to be a disciplined team. Like that. That's another thing. Coming off the bye, we got to be disciplined. Like, we come out penalties, like a lot of errors. It might let us know what type of play to expect from this team over the next couple of weeks. So I'd like to just see us come out disciplined. That's good. That's it.
Jay Alexander says, any concerns for the QBs in our division versus our defense? Yeah, a lot. Jameis Winston, Brady, and Sam Darnold. I'm not as much worried about Sam Darnold. He seemed to has come back to earth some. The ghost of Sam Darnold's past have come back up. Sam Darnold I'm not so much worried about. But listen, Jameis Winston.
New Orleans, New Orleans don't trust Jameis Winston right now. And like I told, they ain't running a lot of plays because they trying to keep him out of trouble.
They're trying to keep him from giving it to the other team. So. Brady's the only one that I'm worried about right now, and I'm more worried about Tampa Bay's defense than I am necessarily with Brady, because we already shown that as long as Matt Ryan ain't throwing it to the other team, we can go tit for tat with Brady, and that was in week 2. Okay, so I'm more concerned about Tampa Bay's defense, but gentlemen,
they banged up right now too.
But we did it. We talked about this thing for an hour. We appreciate all y'all who decided to come along with us and stay and hang around with us. I think everybody very much enjoyed Toby. You getting them all fired up. So, I'm sorry. I think they enjoyed it. There, a lot of too much stoicism, and they're right. The folks need to hear more from y'all, and less from my talking head. But anyway, y'all can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128, GRIMM1128. Jimbo, what you got, bro?
You can catch me on Twitter at Jimmy JIMMYOBAMA. And let's just get a win, Toby.
Toby D 1991.
Mike Dub.
Mike Dub.
Mike Dub, MIKE_DUB. Just win. That's it.
Just win. That's it.
I animated. The more we win, the more animated I'll be. Until then,
I know. I got you, bro. No, I understand. I completely understand. It's hard to get ramped up. From when you got more questions than you got answers. But at the end of the day, folks, all we want to see is a win. And that's what we're going to leave it on. Just win. We appreciate y'all.
Right.
Take it easy. Peace, love, and chicken grease. I'm out.